Welcome. So happy to be here with you this afternoon. And we're excited to have Ali Cody here with us today, who's going to be talking about how we can eat to heal. And she is a certified nutritionist along with lots of other certifications that she's got. And she'll talk more about that. But we know in this time of working from home, especially, like we're always concerned, are we getting the right nutrients? Are we taking care of our bodies the way that we need to? But in this time where you're extra stressed, where you have extra things on your plate, you're homeschooling your kids, everybody's at home, you're trying to just get along instead of yell at each other. And it may be something that has slipped down on your priority. And so what we're going to talk about today are ways that you can do some practical right now steps that are going to really impact your health. And so we can't wait to get to dive into all of that. But before we hear a little bit more from Ali, I just want to do some housekeeping pieces. So if you are joining us live, welcome. We're so glad to have you here. Please let us know where you're watching from in the comments. And something really cool about the way we're able to broadcast this is we are live on multiple platforms at the same time. So tell us where you're watching from. And then what you'll see if you're watching from Facebook, there might be a little thing above the comments that says like allow StreamYard access. So just go ahead and click OK on that. It'll take you to another screen and then right back again into the comments. And what that does is it connects your name to whatever you type. Otherwise, you just show up as Facebook user and we don't know. And we want to really answer the questions that you have along the way. So just go ahead and click that. And we are really excited to have you here. If you're watching on the replay, please just put #replay and tell us where you're watching from as well. But I will do just a small introduction of Ali, who is part of this team of collaborators, over 20 different collaborators from across the US with a variety of different backgrounds and expertise who have come together to support those who are working from home, whether you have chosen that lifestyle or whether you were forced into it because of the things happening in the world right now. We knew that there were hundreds of thousands of people who all of a sudden were dealing with things that they weren't equipped to deal with before. And so we came together to create a package of courses that really support you in lots of different ways. And we'll talk more about that at the end. But Ali, can you tell us a little bit about who you are, your background, and how you became a part of this particular project?
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Kelly, for having me and inviting me on board to this collaboration. I am just in awe of what you're able to offer. And I know I had some clients already comment on our little teaser a couple days ago that, you know, they're really looking forward to this as well. So thanks for getting us all together and letting me be a part of it. But I am a certified holistic nutritionist. So my focus is helping my clients understand what they need to eat to heal. And we're all a little bit different. So I don't have a single client that is eating the same exact thing. So it's all about focusing on what you need for your particular situation. And Kelly, you're so right. I mean, right now, I'm a mom. I've got 2 kids. They're now doing remote learning, and my husband's working from home. He just finished in this little area talking to a client. He's an engineer. And so I'm like, okay, I need to be in there at 3. So we have like our little setup where we can do our face-to-face calls. And then right after this, I have a client. So we're just communicating because we're on top of each other. And it's a good time in many ways. It's a stressful time in many ways. And it's a time where we're creating new habits. And so what I'm really excited to offer everyone is some good new habits to add in, because the habits are changing. So let's make sure they're positives. And then those are things that when we go back to our, you know, this is our now normal. When we go back to our new normal, it's going to be still a little bit different. And so these are things that we can keep with us, you know, as we go through that.
Yeah, I did a live earlier today with Devin, who's a part of the team. And one of the things we were talking about at the end is this idea of, you know, we have 2 choices in situations like this. We can either numb ourselves out or we can activate ourselves into positive change. And so this is not to say in any sense that this is an easy season for anybody. It's not. This is a hard season. But we do have a choice in the matter of, do we just numb ourselves, which would mean like I'm just going to Netflix, I'm just going to eat fast food, I'm just going to not pay attention to what my body needs or my soul needs because it's easier and I'm stressed out? Mm-hmm. Or am I going to take this opportunity to say, I know that I've wanted to make shifts anyways in these areas. And so rather than do the easy thing, I'm going to do the thing that I know is going to make me better in the long run. And so nutrition is such a huge part of that. And I know for so many people, it's really overwhelming because we're not taught really about nutrition. And most people probably feel a lot of guilt around it because they know they're not doing the things that they should be doing, but they're not even sure where to start. And so inside this work from home bundle, you're doing a really cool series of different courses talking about nutrition and the impacts it can have. And so we'll just highlight a little bit of that today. We won't get into everything because you have so much inside those courses. But when you are talking to somebody who is overwhelmed at the thought of making some nutrition shifts, how do you start that conversation with them?
Well, the first thing that I do that I believe is different than what a lot of nutritionists do is I don't focus on what not to eat. I never start with, you can't have that, you can't have that, you can't have that. Because guess what? If I tell you can't have it, human nature, that's what you're going to be craving. And so we start with, and you're going to see these in the courses as well, it's all very positive. And what we're going to do is have you add in certain items. And when I work with my clients and go through this phase, and I've mimicked some of that with the courses that I'm doing. And so you're going to get a feel for that, a feel for how I work. You're going to get some great takeaways. And then, of course, there's always the opportunity if you want to do any one-on-ones. And I move at the pace that's comfortable for my clients. Because I can tell you, some people just wow me and they're ready and they like to move really fast. And others are a little bit afraid of what I'm going to take away.
Yes.
There's a lot of fears. And we talked about emotions before. There's a lot of fear and emotions that go around what to eat. You talked about the guilt as well. So I don't get into that. I focus on adding certain things in. I focus on us really having a clear understanding of what we're eating. And by adding certain things in a certain order, in a certain timing that works for that individual, then by the time I say, okay, why don't we limit this, they're ready. And I don't get there before I know that they're ready, because as their mindset shifts and as their taste buds change, then they're okay and they can let their guard down. And I'm also a big fan of keeping a couple of vices. I mean, no one's going to eat perfectly all of the time. And if you do eat perfectly and you're so stressed out about it, then you're not going to reap the rewards. So that's my focus. That's just a little bit different. And I always try to be a light. I try to be motivational and positive. And I know when I get feedback from people who are a part of a course that I've done or who have worked one-on-one with me, that's the feeling that they get from it. And so I make sure to stay on those positive notes.
Yeah, I think that's such a critical thing at any season, but especially now when there really are expectations and so many things outside of our control, to come back to a place of saying, how can I start to make shifts, but first of all, not overwhelm myself by trying to do everything all at one time. How can I have grace and be like, okay, this is a process, this is a journey. And also thinking about it from the perspective of not what do I have to stop, but what can I add? What can I do that's a positive version of that? So I love that that's your approach with people.
Right. And as we add different foods in, and maybe foods that you just haven't had a lot of, maybe foods that you haven't had for a while, maybe foods that are completely new to you, we crowd out your desire for those foods that are ultimately crippling our immune system.
Mm-hmm. And that's hard. That's a hard thing to imagine when you're in the place of like, yeah, but I obsess now about having those chocolate chip cookies. I need to have those chocolate chip cookies, and we can't even think beyond how we see it right now. But what you're talking about is making some gradual shifts, and then actually your taste buds change. So
Right.
not just like go on a strict diet and then everything's going to be magical, but you're giving your body what it needs so that
Yep. And
naturally.
I love to look at, as I work with my clients, I have them journal a lot and share with me. And I like to look when they've gone through my whole program. I like to look at their notes in the beginning. What were they afraid of giving up? I know one client in particular, who actually a few clients who were just like, cheese, cheese, cheese. I need cheese all the time. And they didn't want to give it up. I had another client who had a cookie with their coffee every morning. And you know what? For the most part, I was like, okay, let's just add this, add this, add this. Again, same thing. And then, yeah, we had to have some tough love conversations once I knew they were ready. Or sometimes, like my client who was having the cookie with her coffee, she just said, oh yeah, I'm not doing that anymore. So the process took care of itself because she had her mind open to what she was actually putting in her body.
Yeah.
And so the focus goes away from those cravings. And unfortunately, those chocolate chip cookies are made to have you craving more. That Diet Coke or the regular soda, those are made to have you craving more. It's all part of the marketing with the ingredients that go in it. So first of all, it's not your fault. It's not like something wrong with me if I'm craving those things. They're there by design, and it's not natural, and it's not the way we were intended to eat. And so by just, we're not going to worry about that and getting there when you're ready, it really works. And the other thing is, if your pain is greater than your desire for those things that are bad for you, then you start to make those changes. My first course, one of the courses you'll see that's in there is how to really, and as I said, you're in the house potentially with your whole family. We're kind of on top of each other. You've probably developed some bad habits, and so maybe you didn't have pain before, and you're starting to feel like, oh, my back really hurts, and maybe you're doing work from your couch or your bed, and pressure where it doesn't need to be, and you're feeling more pain, or maybe you had pain going into this. So the first course, we're going to talk about specific nutrients, specific vitamins, specific foods that you're going to want to add to your grocery list. And yes, they are things that you can still get from your grocery store, because I've found a trend. People aren't really eating healthy.
Shocking.
The healthy
Shocking.
is still there.
Yes. I noticed here that the first thing that I saw like totally wiped out were frozen pizzas. That's the very first thing. And I'm guilty of having purchased those too, but I was really shocked to see.
Right, because you were looking for them.
Well, no, I was just walking past where it was, and I was like, they are completely out. That's crazy. Like, they're completely out. But yeah, like I remember you and I having a conversation a couple of weeks ago when we were talking about this project, and you saying the really cool thing is everything that I'm teaching are the foods that are still readily available wherever you are, because people are just not really doing that. Unless it's flour. People are doing tons of flour now because everybody wants to bake. I've seen so many people with like sourdough starters.
As I said, the healthy stuff is still there.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, and that's another thing with what I do. A lot of nutritionists like to sell supplements, and I get it. I mean, it makes sense. You sell a supplement, you have that replenishing income and all of that. But I do not sell supplements. So my focus, and this is really what makes what I'm doing different, and what you're going to see in this work from home bundle a lot different. Or if you go to the soul care part of it, you'll see the courses. Is I am focusing on real food that you can get from the grocery store. And that's the key, is just being able to change those habits first, have those foods in the house. So maybe you can't get to some of the other items, and know what to do with those foods as well. And that's what I love, is I know you also have someone teaching on cooking. Now, I always say I'm a nutritionist, not a cook.
Yeah.
And I'm here to help you're going to get these vitamins and minerals that you really need for this particular issue. And you're going to know what they are. And then you can go to the cooking section and you can get the recipes with those items as well.
Yeah. Well, I think a really great thing when you're talking about eating whole foods is that you can, I mean, Google is such our friend right now, right? You can type in ingredients and find recipes really easily now. And so the hard part, I don't think, is about figuring out what you should do with it. It's just taking the actions. So first of all, I think helping people, which is what your courses are doing, is helping people get that basic knowledge of here's what I need to shift. Here's what I should be doing, eating, consuming, so that I'm giving myself the nutrition that I need. Right. Then if you can get to the place of I'm important enough, my health is important enough, that either I'm being proactive about this before I have chronic pain or before I feel like my body is acting older than it is, or in response to, I know like one of your courses in particular is around using nutrition to fight chronic pain. And so you might be somebody watching who's like, I've been dealing with chronic pain for years, and all that I've ever known to do is to take medication because that's what my doctors are telling me. And so, we are not at all claiming to be medical professionals here. This is not a substitution for medical advice, but it is a supplement to help you understand a more full picture of how you can take back control of your life. And Ali, I know one of the things you talk about in one of the courses, at least one of them, is how little training our medical professionals get in nutrition. And so what happens when they don't have that education about nutrition?
Oh, gosh. Well, we look to our doctors, right? We look to them for our health concerns, and they usually give nutrition advice. And like you said, I think it's starting to change with some of the doctors, in medical school now, but you can be a doctor and not have more than like maybe 12 hours total of nutrition. And so a lot of the nutrition advice that they give it's a disservice. And first of all, doctors are heroes right now. Nurses are heroes right now, along with many, many other people in the service industry. And so I want you to understand, I'm not like dogging doctors. If I am in an accident, I want a good doctor who can help me and get me back, where I need to be. But as far as lifelong, long-term healing, then I do believe that we can usually find that through food. And yes, I would never recommend that anyone like go off of medication. But what's been really cool is I'm able to get people in a situation where they can have that conversation with their doctor. So they get blood work done, and I've worked with people who've had diabetes, and then their A1Cs are better than they've been in 30 years. And so they're able to have a conversation. I've worked with people who their cholesterol was high, and then their triglycerides, were finally back to normal. So they were able to get off some statin drugs, which are really dangerous, not by my advice, but because their doctors saw the change, right there in black and white. They saw the change and they were able to make that. And so that's what drives me, is getting people in a situation where through their doctor's help, they can reduce their medication. And then, sometimes, just to give you guys one little thing here, this will be something to take away from this conversation. A lot of doctors recommend fish oil. Well, fish oil also comes with some of the toxins that you get in the ocean. And of course, it's fish, so it's got cholesterol. And the reason that they are recommending fish oil pills is because of the omega-3s, specifically the DHA and EPA omega-3s, which are important. But my recommendation to you would be, it's called an algae oil. and you get your DHA that way. And the way that they have the algae oil growing, it doesn't get the toxins from the ocean. I don't know how that works, but I've looked at it enough where I know it doesn't get the toxins. So it's a win-win. So make sure you get it. Sometimes it's called vegan DHA. Not that you have to go vegan, but that's the one you look for. I see someone commented, good advice. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so take that away. But that's what I'm talking about is our doctors are, when they give nutrition advice or when they tell you to take a supplement, sometimes they're looking at one thing like the DHA, the omega-3, but they're not looking at everything else that comes in that, because food and supplements are a package deal. You have to look at the bad that comes with the good, and we have to find the foods that have, you know, all good without the bad, and focus on that. And for each of us, that could be different. There might be a food that I'm sensitive to that might be really good for you. And so that's the other thing that we have to work through as well.
Yeah. And I know when people work with you one-on-one or in group settings, and they can get like that personalized touch, but at least I know in these courses, even if it's not like we're customizing what's happening for you, you're giving such a great foundation of understanding what are the vitamins and the minerals that we need. And one of the things you talk a lot about is the importance, and you've hit on it a little bit here, the importance of getting those actually from natural whole foods instead of supplements, instead of another way. And so I can't remember the stat exactly, but there was something that you said about the percentage of nutrient that you actually get from a supplement versus.
Right. Yeah. So, and you guys can look this up. This is on Mayo Clinic, and I'm sure it's on other places as well. But you're only going to get 30% of the benefit from a supplement as you would from the actual food. So let's just take an easy one like vitamin C. So if I eat an orange with the vitamin C, I'm going to benefit more from that than I do from taking a vitamin C supplement, even if that supplement has more of the vitamin C, because orange is complete, it's whole, and that vitamin C is paired up with a ton of other minerals and vitamins that all work together to provide us with something that no other food can. And that's just one example. If you don't like oranges, no big deal. We'll find another example for you.
Yeah.
If it's too much sugar, you're diabetic, you can't have it. No big deal. There's vitamin C in broccoli. I mean, we can get the vitamins we need and work through any food sensitivities or anything your doctor told you can't eat. It's all good. We can work through it. There are thousands to choose from. Yeah.
So if you, like, let's say I'm eating fairly healthy, but not, I know I can do better, but I am like, oh my gosh, I don't know how much extra time I can spend trying to figure this all out. In a really practical sense, how much extra time per day do you think somebody would need to spend considering if they're eating the right things?
Okay, did I mention that I have 2 kids and a husband here? And normally when we're not doing remote school, I'm driving my youngest to a school that's an hour away. And sometimes I have to go back and forth 2, 3, 4 times. So time is usually not something I have a lot of. And as I mentioned, I'm not a cook. So now I've gotten better since focusing on nutrients, but I do not spend a lot of time in the kitchen. And that's something, we can talk about as well, is just, it doesn't have to be time consuming. I go for the easy, simple recipes. Yeah. And like you said, you can Google search recipes and all of that. Now I have, my clients know I have my Avocado Ali approved recipes because they don't all make the cut. And back to real quick, you had brought up, even in just doing one single course and the takeaways you can get. I had a friend of mine who watched my course. She watched it with her husband. She took loads of notes. I followed up with her. hey, did you want to work? And most people, like to have that one-on-one, and I can provide like motivation each day, and it's really great. She had written down so many notes. She had gotten every single thing I had mentioned because her husband was, excuse me, her husband was having surgery. I think it was surgery on his knee. And she had him add in all the foods I talked about adding in, and this is on the chronic pain webinar. And he recovered from that surgery faster than they had ever seen anyone.
Oh,
the doctor was in shock. And she's like, Ali, thank you. So, even if you just watch the 30 to 40 minute course, and I'm going to have a few of them, we have some focused on alleviating chronic pain. We have some focused on feeling and looking 10 years younger.
I mean, hello.
Hello. Might as well work on that while we're at home. We have some focused on fueling high energy. It's just, pick the one that makes the most sense for you, or do them all. I mean, the way you have this working by either the category or doing the bundle, man, you have everything at your disposal. It's really cool.
Yeah, it is. We set it up purposefully to be available 24/7. You can go in, you can take things in any order, you can skip things, you can go back to things. If you want to be watching at 2 a.m, because that's how your work schedule is. If you want to be, whatever works for you.
Late night snacking, all right?
Yes, that's right. That's right. But we wanted it to be really convenient for people. And so you just alluded to it a little bit, but we created things in 3 different categories because working from home, like, don't be fooled by the work being the first thing there. Work is not the only thing that we're concerned about. We're expected to still be productive and successful in whatever work we have, whether that's our own business or we're working for a company. Or at this point, a lot of people are unemployed and are looking for work. Looking for work is also work. So that is a big part. And we have courses in there to help people set up their desktops and figure out how to manage their time more efficiently, how to reprioritize now that you're working and living in the same space. And even things like, now that you're in the same space as your spouse or your roommates all the time, how do you set the right boundaries and how do you not want to kill each other? So those kinds of things that are work focused. But we've got 2 other categories because we know that this is not just about that. It's also about the home part of this. So you've got to take care of things like your nutrients. You've got to cook meals for your family. You have to, now maybe you're homeschooling your children, and that is not something you expected before. We've got a whole load of courses within that daily living in home section. So that's dealing with all the things that are not work related, but are things you probably are dealing with on a daily basis right now. And then soul care and growth is the last set of categories. And that's because your soul needs attention right now. It needs attention. Mm-hmm. This is an unprecedented season. And even the most equipped person, even the healthiest, emotionally healthiest person still is going to struggle in this season. We were not wired to know naturally how to process something this widespread. And so in that section, we've got life coaches. We have a certified hypnotherapist who does a whole course around like optimizing the power you already have in your brain. There's a licensed marriage and family therapist who does one about how do you calm your fear when everything is chaotic. So we've really tried to hit all of the pillars that you need support with in this time. We know you're stressed. We know you are overwhelmed. And if you just started going to do a Google search of like, how can I be less stressed? You're going to have to wade through so much junk. There's a lot of good stuff out there, but so much junk. So we were like, let's just put all really good, high quality stuff in one place. So you just go one place and all you got to do is open and click, 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 watch what you need, be done, take away what you need to take away.
Well, and a lot of times if you're Google searching any of that, including nutrition, you go down this rabbit hole, right? And then at the end of the rabbit hole, they're trying to sell you something. And that's just not, I don't operate that way. I'm very like cut and dry. I don't play games. But that's what I like about this. If you do that, I'm just going to Google search, then you're going to get caught up in, this whole thing, watch this 40-minute scare tactic. And now I can help you because my product's going to resolve that. that fear. You don't have to worry about this. You do the work from home, you do the bundle, and you have everything at your fingertips, and no one's trying to sell you something. Like, it's already there at a crazy, reasonable rate. And you don't have to worry about someone trying to deceive you.
Yeah, no, for sure. One of the big things that when I was putting this team together was that I wanted everybody's primary motivation to be around, we're here because we want to serve people. I have knowledge, I have information that can help them. And so I want to share it because I know people are freaking out right now. So that's the primary motivation. That is the heart of what's so cool about this team, is that everybody really is coming from that place. And we want this to get into your hands so that you have what you need. There's so much chaos right now. Like, this is one area where you can regain some control and feel like, okay, I have, my purpose is more in line. I feel more in control of my kitchen and my nutrition. And I feel more like I've got a routine redeveloping because my office is set up and it's not taking over my whole house, right? So take back some of that control. We know how stressful this is. In addition to being experts in the area everybody's teaching in, we're all also people who have been working from home for some people, it's been a really long time. Yeah. So we also have adjusted and know what those stressors are like. So we're incorporating that into the way that we teach because we know what it's like to have to work from home. So yeah, it's such a cool team. And I'm so happy that you're a part of what we're doing, Ali. So can you tell us, I know this is a really broad question, and reframe it if there's a better way to ask it, but knowing that people are going to go more in depth when they get this bundle of courses and can go in, if we just say on a really high level, what are 3 things that you think most people could do to be getting better nutrition or taking better care of their nutrition without making huge life changes right now?
So the 3 things that I would say is, first of all, most people are walking around dehydrated.
Yes.
So water. You really have got to get that water in there. And, the amount of water that you need to drink every day is half your body weight in ounces. And so that's just a great takeaway for you. I want you guys healthy. I want you, if you're not hydrated, you're going to have so many other issues. And then 97% of Americans don't get enough fiber. So getting that fiber, make sure you're consuming fiber. And I'm not talking about a pill. Make sure you're getting it with real food. And we can go into more what that looks like and what that means for you as well. And then let's see, the third one is really, you guys know this, is avoiding sugar and avoiding the fake sugars. None of it is good for us at all. So, and that's where we can focus on finding joy in the natural sugars and how to change your taste buds so that you can get away from that. Because again, that's another food item, ingredient that has the marketing built in, because you have sugar, you're going to crave sugar. It's not your fault. There's nothing wrong with you. That's just how it works. So getting away from that sugar. So I'm so excited to be here. I'm so excited to offer these courses as well, and to give you guys just something real and tangible where you can make those things happen and more.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic. And I know they're basic concepts that we totally understand. Change takes effort and it's not always easy. So be gracious with yourself. And maybe what you do is you just start, you say to yourself, okay, tomorrow I am going to make sure that I drink as much water as I need to drink. And then the next day I'm going to look at my fiber intake and figure out how I can shift that around. And then the next day, don't try to, don't overwhelm yourself. Don't set yourself up for failure. It's taken you a while to get where you're at. It may take a while to get where you need to be, but just keep taking action.
Right. And get some motivation, someone who, in this group or whoever you resonate with, and watch the videos, because that's just going to help you and drive you. There is a question here I'm happy to answer.
Yes.
All right. So the Facebook user, I don't see the name, is carbonated water with flavor to drink just as well as regular water. It's not like horrible, but regular water, maybe regular water with some fruit infused into it so you get some flavor is better. And that's just because the carbonated water our body has to work a lot harder to turn that into hydration. So it's just putting more stress on your body, whereas you drink just regular water. You know, you want to make sure the water you're drinking is alkaline in nature. Then that is just going to focus on healing your body and not causing additional work.
Yeah, that's a great question. And I've never heard, I just always assumed natural water was better, but I had never heard that that's why. And it makes sense that your body, it takes more for your body to process that. So thank you to whoever posted that question. If you look above your comments, there's a little thing to say grant StreamYard access. If you do that, we can actually see who you are. So we can call you by name and say, thanks for your question. But I appreciate those, like those small tips, and even things like, you know, getting enough water. Do you have any real practical tips for people who are like, oh my gosh, I forget to drink water, or that's too much water, or I don't like the taste of water?
Yeah, I get that. All of those. So there's some practical tips as far as, it depends on the situation. I have one client who, and actually she's someone I'm working with. She's now one of my nutrition advisors, because she was one of the ones that just like dove right in and just did amazing. And now she's there to help me help others. And she has a tip. You know, she has an aluminum bottle that she uses for water, and she puts a rubber band around it. She puts, she figures out how much, you know, she needs. If she needs, I forget how many ounces there is of those, but if she needs 5 of them, then she puts 5 rubber bands around that bottle. And every time she drinks a full water, she takes one off. So at the end of the day, she knows that she's had the right amount.
Okay, that's good. So I see that. So it's Pam Cohn.
Hi, Pam.
Yes. She also asked about Propel.
About Propel. I'm not like an expert on Propel. I know Gatorade is not good. Propel, I would have to look at the ingredients. It's actually not a crush. I know it's out there, but it's not something I've really dove into. So it just depends on what's in the Propel. You know, usually we're drinking things like Propel or Gatorade because we need those electrolytes. Do you guys know what electrolytes are?
What are they?
Electrolytes are salt and water. It's just salt and water. So we can actually make our own electrolytes, right? Salt water, and maybe infuse some fruit if you want that flavor, because I know a lot of people want that flavor. And our body needs a certain balance of the water and the salt. So people think of sodium as bad, but that's salt. And people think of electrolytes as good, but that's sodium. It's just, it's really, you know, I like to work with people and be like, oh, wait, okay, that makes sense. And so when you're doing the electrolytes, and I would just look at the ingredients and just make sure there aren't a lot of chemicals or sweeteners on there. And the difficulty with the sweeteners is they are constantly changing their name. So like aspartame, and I know there's a lot of controversy. You probably know how I feel about aspartame. I mean, it's not natural. Most items with aspartame, they don't use that name anymore. What's the name they used? Oh, I forget. It sounds really like good for you. I forget what it is. I can type it in later. But that's the tricky part, is just, you know, the ingredient list is, and you don't want to read the ingredient list all the time. So that's why I try to have people focus on real food, even water, even your tap water. Yes, even in Florida where we don't have good tap water, if we have filtered tap water, if you just mix that, let's say you take a liter or 2 liter bottle, whatever size you want. If you put for 2 liters, 1/8 of a teaspoon of baking soda in the water, it's going to alkalinize it. And so just put that in your fridge, save yourself some money. You don't need to buy all the bottles of water.
That's a great tip. So 1/8 of a
teaspoon of baking soda
in a 2 liter
of
water. Okay, that's a great little tip. Yeah, right. Exactly. Well, I'm glad you said that, because one of the questions I had was around alkaline. And I know that's a big thing. You see a lot of bottled waters now that say, oh, alkaline, and it's got their numbers. But this is such a great way to say, look, you don't bother with that. You can just do this at home.
And some of those aren't actually alkaline. When they go and they test them, a lot of the ones that say alkaline actually aren't. So
yeah,
it's just the more that you can do yourself, real whole foods, real water, create your own, then you have that confidence that you know what's in what you're eating and drinking.
Yeah. Well, and I'm excited for people who are watching either live or the replay to get in and take your full courses so that they can get their, like, all of the nitty gritty details that you share about nutrients. And you really do give practical ways of, like, here are the 3 or 4 things you should, depending on the subject, here's the 3 or 4 or 5 things that you should really think about and incorporate. And here are the foods that you can find those in. And so people can really go and dig in and pull out the things that they really need, whether it's for chronic pain or they want to feel younger or have more energy, all of those things. And so excited for people to go dig in and take that and then give feedback to tell us, like, how that's been going for them. And I know you also give, go ahead.
No, I just want to say I remembered what aspartame, their new name is Amino Sweet. Okay, just want to.
Amino Sweet.
Amino Sweet is their new name, yes. And once that gets a lot of publicity, then I'm sure they'll change it again.
Yeah.
Sorry, Kelly.
No, I'm glad. I'm glad that you remembered that. I haven't heard that term yet, but now I'll definitely be aware, because it does sound way better than aspartame.
Very nice.
Yeah. Yep, they know what they're doing. Marketing folks know what they're doing, and they're trying to sell what they need to sell. So, but I just want to go back to talk about this bundle a little bit before we have to wrap up, and let people know. So we've talked a little bit about all of the different areas we have to support you, including Ali's series of courses around nutrition. And every single thing that we have to offer is available to you 24/7. It's like having a team of experts whenever you need it. And listen, you could probably figure some stuff out on your own if you take the next 6 months to do a lot of research and figure out one thing and the next thing and the next thing. But just save yourself the time. Come to one place, get it all. We've got this whole work from home bundle, which is thousands of dollars in retail value. Like, if you were to go buy each individual course, you'd be spending well over $2,000 as a bundle. And because we did this collaboratively, we were able to offer it at a lower price. So retail, this bundle of over 30 courses, and we're adding more all the time, is retailing for $499, which is a steal. But we have a special that is only going to be through May 1st, which is only a little over a week away. So do you want to talk, Ali, right now about the special that we have as our intro offer?
I'll let you. You're the expert on it.
Okay. So yeah. So I'm going to put the link will go in some of the comments. We're having a little bit of a tech issue, but if you look at the description for this course, it should be like right above where you're watching. There's a link in there as well. But this is Ali's link that gives you access to this VIP special introductory offer. And so we are offering this $499 retail value for just $99. It's a crazy, even if you go in and only took 2 or 3 of the classes, but they gave you the tips that you need to get where you need to go, you get less stressed, you have more peace, you have more purpose, you feel like you have control of your calendar and your day again. It is worth $99 plus. So this $99 is only available until the last day of this month, which is next Thursday. And so get in there, use this link. After that, the price is going up. And so we want you to get in at this really special rate. Once you're in, you're in. Anything that gets added in the future, you'll still have access to that. And you can start and go at whatever pace you want. If you want to knock a ton of classes out, awesome. If you want to take one class this week and one class next week and one class the week after that, that's great too. Do it at your own pace, but get the tools that you need. Invest in yourself right now. Like, listen, you could go spend hours watching Netflix, which most of us are doing. I just saw that Netflix increased their subscribership by like some crazy number in the last 6 weeks, of course, because of what's happening and more people are watching Netflix. But what if you just replace Netflix for 1 hour a week, doing something that is going to fill you and help you propel into the future instead of drag into the future? I mean, that is worth way more than a Netflix subscription.
It's amazing. What you have put together, Kelly, is amazing. What you're offering is gold. And I can't wait. I'm like an efficiency geek. Like I love anything that helps me be more efficient. So I'm really excited to dive into those courses that are along those lines as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just really all the hard work you've done to bring all of us together. And I've been so impressed, with everyone that you've had talk, with everyone that I've communicated with. And it's just an amazing, like you said, it's an amazing group of people who just want to serve. And so you're going to have all this at your fingertips. So Pam did give me the, talking about propelling, she did give me the ingredients. Yeah, some of those, sucralose is the big one on there. So you want to avoid the sucralose, just like the aspartame. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, this is just, when you called me and told me about this project, I was in awe. Like what?
Yeah. And it all came together. This is something I don't think I really talked about this much on this particular chat, but this all happened. People took their expertise and moved so fast because we knew that people needed it right now. And so this content has been developed, recorded, and put live within the last few weeks. So this isn't stagnant stuff that we just pulled out of a closet and are just repurposing. This has been created specifically to help you adjust in the season that we're going through. So that we're all busy entrepreneurs too. We have a lot on our plates. There's a lot of things that we could have chosen to spend our time doing, but we said, no, we see the value here, especially when we link arms. And it's been so cool for me to see like the heart behind everybody and to see how people come together. I can't wait to see other collaborations that come out of this because there's so many quality people that because you're coming from that same heart, I know that there's going to be other collaborations that sprout off as a result of this.
Right. And the cool thing is, like, when you asked me about this and we talked about what made sense, I didn't just like, all right, I'm just going to here's a video I've already done. No, like I specifically have recorded these courses specifically for the work from home audience, specifically for this season in our lives. And I know from what you shared with me, that's what the other collaborators have done. And that's also what makes it so unique. We're not just taking some recording from 6 months ago and plopping it in. No, this all has to do with right now. And, I believe personally, this is just kind of a precursor to, we want to be prepared if this happens again. We're going to do phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. Some people might end up going back from work. I think a lot of people, a lot of companies will be like, maybe we save money having people work from home. It works. And so either way, to have this in your arsenal at a time where it's like nothing for what you're getting.
I know the title is work from home, but there's so much on such a variety of levels here. Mm-hmm. Even if you're somebody who's an essential worker now and you're not working from home, there are things in here that are going to help you. Even if you're somebody who you're the first people who go back into an office or into a workspace, there's still things here that are going to help you. Even if you're somebody who's been working from home for many years, there are courses in here that are going to help you. So really anybody who digs in and looks at the courses. So I encourage everybody to go to that link that we provided, look around. You can actually open up each section of a subject area that we talked about. You can see all the courses that are there right now. And every one of those subject areas, there are more courses coming. So it's just really, it's incredible. And I have no doubt that somebody who goes in and starts taking these courses is going to find tools and support that they really need. And you're going to be shifted. You're going to feel more supported. You're going to feel more in control. And so this is like, take advantage of this right now, especially at this rate. Take advantage of it before this goes away. We want you to get it as affordably as possible. And so thanks to all these really awesome collaborators like Ali, we've been able to do this introductory offer. So use that link. If you've got questions, talk with Ali, talk with me. If you're not yet a part of our Facebook group, we've got a community for work from home folks. It's called the Work From Home Survive and Thrive Tribe. So if you just type that in Facebook, it'll pop you over to that group. You just request to join, and then we'll get you in. So you've got extra support and community, people who have started working from home, who've been working from home, who we talk about all different kinds of things. We have fun things, we have serious things, all in that space as well. So come join us over there. Is there anything, Ali, that you want to say before we wrap up?
Basically, just everyone take care of yourself while you're in this season. I mean, I just want everyone to come out of this a better person, a healthier person. And I want you, there's some silver linings here, and I want you to take those with you.
Yeah, well said. And that is our hope for you too. We want you to come out of this healthier, with realigned priorities, and you will know that your resilience is stronger than you thought it could be when everything first started. And also, you don't have to do it alone. This is one way to get tons of resource in your back pocket. So we're here for you. Thank you so much for being with us, Ali. And if you are watching the replay and you have any extra questions, drop them in the comments and we'll make sure that we follow up with you as well. So thank you so much, Ali, and have a good rest of your Wednesday. I had to really think about what day it is. That's one consequence of right now, right? I don't know what it is, but have a good rest of your Wednesday, everybody, and we will chat soon.
Bye, guys.
Bye.